Yeah. How's it going, David? How's it going, everybody? First thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be making a submission video for Flynn Stock, which is speedrun marathon benefit thingy that I think is supposed to be happening late February. I think that's when it's supposed to be. So we're gonna start off the stream. I'm just gonna do a MGS2 speed run as if I'm like, you know, doing a submission video for it. So I'll probably be just like talking a lot, talking about what I'm doing a lot and over explaining stuff, but that's what I'm gonna be doing. And then after we get that done, I'm gonna swap over either to like some Star Trek. We might finish Judgment Rites tonight. I might decide to do MGS1 instead. In which case, if we do MGS1, I'm gonna be like practicing my speedrun routes and my strats, but we're also just gonna be listening to all the codecs and cutscenes too. So we'll just be watching me break glitch walls and stuff. Just basically what the MGS1 speedrun is. Oh, let's go ahead and get the game reloaded. Where's my lighter? Where's my water bottle? Be right back, y'all. I gotta grab a few things. All right. Audio always gets messed up. Okay, good. Now I need you to hide the sidebar. Oh my god, stop pretending. Elgato likes to do this thing where I'm just like, I click hide sidebar, but it just keeps the sidebar up. And so I just have to keep clicking and unclicking the setting for hide sidebar, show sidebar, hide sidebar, show sidebar, hide sidebar, show sidebar. And I have to keep doing that until it actually hides the sidebar. Annoying, to say the least. Yeah, let me take a quick little hit or two, and then we'll get this submission video started. What's up? Yes, it is kind of annoying, but yeah. Oh, my 420 break. If it's a weekend, my 420 break pretty much lasts all day. But I feel you. All right. Let me start recording here. Get my professional face on. I probably can't. Actually, I should probably take another hit or two. I don't think I want to be smoking a bong on my submission video. So let's just go ahead and take another hit before we start recording. All right, here we go. Right? The split says the world record shorter because the split doesn't differentiate by difficulty, and the easy, it's either easy or normal that D-Limes actually has like the fastest world record on, but for very easy it should be me. But yeah, let me all right, Sarkophilus. Yep, that's me. All right. Hey there, my name's Proofrock, and this is my submission video for Metal Gear Solid 2 HD Edition on the console for Flynn Stock. Never been in a speedrun marathon before, but you know, the cause of Flynn Stock with autism is very near and dear to me as both a clinical psychologist and as someone who's an uncle of someone who has autism. So yeah, I'm really excited. But yeah, like I said, this is my submission video for MGS2 HD. We're gonna be playing on very easy. We're gonna be doing any percent. We're not gonna be worrying about dog tags, just trying to beat the game. Something we want to make sure we do before we actually load the game is we want to make sure that our quick change is set to previous, and that's just very important. I'm kind of going into stuff that probably isn't relevant to you, the submission committee, but stuff that I might mention during the run. So the first thing we want to do is just make sure quick change is on previous, because that makes a lot of our strats that we do and a lot of our menuing, it's just very helpful to have that on previous. And we're going to be loading a new game plus save, which allows us to skip a cutscene and gives Raiden and Snake some pretty snazzy shades as well. And we're gonna be running Tanker Plant. We're gonna be running the full game. We're gonna be running on very easy. Yeah. Yeah, good point, David. The other setting we want to make sure here is just kind of make sure you have the radar set to what we want it to. It's kind of personal preference, but I keep it on. And we start here. So currently I am the world record holder for MGS2 HD Very Easy Edition. We'll see how long that world record actually holds, but as of this submission video, I am the world record holder.
All right, let's look at.
So we're just going to be skipping through some cutscenes here. There's Snake in his shades. And we're going to be making our way up to the top of the ship to our first little boss fight. We're just going to break that guard and make our way in. Really just a lot of like movement and tranking here. We can just run past that guard. He's not very good at his job. Going up the stairs. More cutscenes. And because we're playing on very easy, we can actually take any alert or anything. It's a lot more liberal with that, because with very easy, whenever you go into another area, basically whenever you go into a loading zone, alerts, cautions, everything goes away. So we're going to come in up on Olga here. That's our first little boss fight, and go one of two ways. Either she's going to be on the left side, or she's going to be on the right side. We got right side Olga, so we're just going to put 2 shots in her real quick. move up a little farther for positioning, and then go ahead and try to put our reticle where she will be.
Conflict and victory were my parents. The unit is my life.
A lot of this fight involves just knowing where to aim.
We've shared
And just like that, that's Olga. I generally prefer left side Olga myself. Because I think if you can get it done, if you do it correctly, left side Olga is actually faster. And also just left side Olga, the way you do the fight, I'm just a little more comfortable doing that than I am right side. But right side Olga is also good. It's a little more consistent and reliable, right side, I feel like. We're going to go equip our USP here. And we want to do that, and we pick up this ammo, so we have some shots for it. And we want to do that because when we get down to a floor down here, we're going to be firing a warning shot. And this warning shot basically will allow us to get past this guard quicker, this one on deck B, because we don't fire this warning shot here. So you fire in this warning shot, even when he sees us, he's just calling it in, which is great. Because if he's calling in something on his radio, that means he's not shooting us. He's not shooting us. He's not trying to stop us. You know, so we can just run by him as quickly as possible. Same with this guard. He doesn't actually try to shoot you. So you can just run by him. This room can be a little fun. What I usually do is just kind of come down here, drop down, and then we shoot this guard right here. There is another strat that's a bit more swaggy. Involves kind of dropping down right in front of that guard and shooting his radio. And it does save you more time. It is actually on very easy. The optimal way is to drop down right in front of him and shoot his radio. But I'm not quite comfortable with that yet, so I just do the safer route of tranking him. Because if we shot his radio, we wouldn't get that cutscene there. So, because we're on very easy, we just have one sensor to shoot, and we can just run through here. In this part, I was going to say it's a little harder than it looks, but it's actually probably about as easy as it looks. We're just kind of running through. We're going to come up on a guard here. We're going to trank him. And then we've got probably my favorite two guards of the game coming up here. And it's Headphones Man and Sleepy Man. I haven't come up with names for them yet. But there's Headphones Guy. We do a few punches to kind of get the timing right so we can run by him. And also we can run by that guard who's just sleeping on the job. We pick up a little bit of extra USP ammo there. It technically may not be necessary. I think if you do all your shots optimally in this guard rush encounter, you don't need that extra box of USP ammo, but I'm usually a little wild with my shots, so... We're just trying to take out these guards here as quickly as we can, and I'm doing it a little slowly here. And then we line our shot up for these next three. And there's guard rush. So I could have done that a little better. Ideally, you want to take out the guards in a certain order, and I kind of messed up that order there, but it's fine. Now we're going to come up on ladder glitch, which is going to be hard for me to explain. I'm just going to kind of do it. But yeah, it's a glitch we use to kind of bypass this here. And I messed it up. So ideally you would just keep going there. Like if this were an actual run, I would probably just go down the ladder and keep going there. But what we're going to do instead is just do the actual ladder glitch. So we're going to do a punch-punch-kick combo to buffer our camera. And that way we can grab it and do the camera. Alright, we got it that time. So that's ladder glitch, and if you get it right the first time, it saves you quite a bit of time. No, not quite a bit of time. I think it's like 20 seconds or so. About 20 seconds, and so if you miss it, and you still just want to go, you just keep going.
Nations building up their own Metal Gear Force will think twice about their nuclear strategy.
Jojo, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody. Coming up on my submission video for Flynn Stock. This is gonna be hard for me to manage, but that's fine. Welcome everybody. So we're taking pictures of Ray here. And ideally we can do this in just that one spot and then our second spot here.
Some say that strategic.
Went a little too far on my little last camera movement there. But hello, hello! Welcome everyone! Thank you for the follow, whoever it was. I can't see who it is right now, but I appreciate it. I was just watching Jojo right before I got on. But yeah, welcome everybody. I'm doing a submission video for Flynn Stock since I just got the world record for MGS2 HD console VE. Woot woot. Perfect timing with the Marine Domino, yes. And I did what you're not supposed to do, which is you accidentally hit save. Yes, there. You want to hit no. Very easy mistake to make when you're trying to mash through cutscenes. And I do it often. So we're just mashing through cutscenes. We got through a tanker. Thanks, everybody. Save boss failed. Oh, no. Yep. Save boss got me. Had to continue. Thanks for the GL, soldier. Usually I do a cartwheel there, but I was distracted. Oh, it's Joe. Jojo got the follow. Thank you, appreciate it. So we're just making our way to our first little elevator here. It's a lot of cutscene and codec skipping. Thanks, dude. We have to go over to this. This is the only node we have to actually do in the game. We have to actually... The game, the way it's meant to be played, you're supposed to actually go to a bunch of these nodes and get your radar activated. For very easy, I don't know if it's actually necessary, but for like easy and above, you're supposed to go to those nodes. We don't ever do that, because it just wastes time. But that is the node, that is the first node you actually have to like interact with, first and only. You just skip through the menus to get to where you're at this point. So we go through a couple codec calls. And then what we're going to want to do is hide behind this forklift and wait for this guard to wake up. And once he wakes up, we're either going to use a cartwheel or a punch-punch kick. I usually like to do cartwheel, but sometimes I like to mix it up and do like a punch-punch kick combo. But we basically want him to use his radio, call in the caution. And I don't think it actually is quicker to get the caution, but as long as you don't get an alert, that's just kind of a nice way to do it. And the elevator should come down in like a second or two. And cartwheel into it. And we're up. So we're basically heading into bomb disposal here. We're not quite at disposing the bombs yet, but that's what we're going to be heading into. We're going to pick up our M9 here. It's going to be very helpful for the rest of the run. We're basically going to make our way to the beginning of bomb disposal. We also have to stop by and see Iroquois Pliskin, who's definitely not Solid Snake. We have to stop by and see him for a bit. And then we can make our way to Stillman. More codecs, more cutscenes. Great times for donations. So we're going to take the bottom walkway. And we could probably knock that guard over. And, you know, have a little funny moment and just knock him over the edge. But I just like to trank him. It's quick, it's reliable. Some more cutscenes. And look, we've got our M9 back. So we're going to make our way out of this room. Ideally, you want to cartwheel out of that door there so you get a little bit farther through that codec. We want to not click save there. I'm usually good about not clicking save for the codec saves, but when it comes to the cutscene saves, I'm really bad about clicking it. we're gonna make our way across this bridge. There are some chaff grenades there that we could pick up. But there are actually some chaffs later on in the run that make more sense to pick up. They're a little more, it's less of a time loss if we pick up the later grenades. So, and because this is very easy, we really only need 3 chaff grenades. And it's arguable if you really even need those 3. I think you can make an argument that you really don't even... Oh, I'm slow in that cutscene. That you really don't even need those 3, but I like to have them. Go for M9 again. We're going to equip our coolant in the middle of this cartwheel. And I'm going to do it really slow and badly so that I go prone. That's not what you're supposed to do. Ideally, you equip your coolant, and then you quick equip back to your M9, and then you just finish your cartwheel, and you just keep moving, but I messed up there. So we got our first bomb disposed. Now we're basically going to each strut, and disposing of a bomb on each strut. Now, there are a few ways to do this. The 2 ways I know are, clockwise, just kind of doing it regularly, I guess, clockwise, and then there's a counterclockwise strat that uses some box tricks. And we are going to be using the counterclockwise strat. That was not ideal. Ideally, we would have hit him with that trank shot, and we could have just cartwheeled through him and not got shot, but not that much of a time loss. Cartwheel through this guard. Don't know if it's ideal, but I like to do it. It also... A reason I like to cartwheel that guard particularly is it gives me a good idea of whether... And we're using coolant, kind of rises here to get up quicker. Cartwheeling that guard also gives me a better idea of how long I'm taking doing the stuff in Strat A. Because if I'm able to get the bomb disposed, and I'm able to go pick up this box... and I'm able to do it before the guard wakes up, that lets me know, like, okay, I made pretty good time. But if he wakes up, or if he calls on his radio, then I know, like, I've taken a little too long. But yeah, we're picking up our first of 2 cardboard boxes here that will allow us to use a nice little box trick that we can use to cut down on some time. Gonna see me cartwheeling a lot to save time. Ideally to save time. And look, guard is still tranked, or guard is still out. Knocked out, rather, so we made pretty good time. Bad movement there. We're gonna get this cipher alert. There's gonna be a guard that pops out of here. And that's what's supposed to happen. We trank him, everything goes great. Gonna trick one more guard. And we're gonna meet this other guard who, his hearing seems to be good. Because he seems to hear the coolant hissing, but doesn't seem to be able to see us right up there on the box. Doesn't seem to be good at knowing where that sound's coming from. He's like, I hear something, but I don't know where it is. So we've got a few more codecs and a little cutscene and a few more codecs here. We get another codec before this bomb. And basically, we're going to be cartwheeling into prone to pick up a claymore. We don't really need the claymore. It is useful if you use a certain strat later on. But really the reason we're picking this up is that we have a better path later. We walk along the noisy floors. Make our way into Strat E. I like to quick equip my... Oh, I don't like to do that. I like to quick equip my box here. Ugh, say that 10 times fast. But yeah, I like to do quick equip on the box there because once you come up here to the roof and defuse this bomb, it's also when you get your second box. And so it's just a little easier to just, you know, you only have that one box and you're not going to miss up your boxes. So we're going to defuse this bomb under this jet. And after we defuse the bomb, there's actually a, like I mentioned, a box in the southwest corner of this helipad. And we're going to pick up that box too. Excuse me. And ideally, good. I've definitely messed up there, and you end up, like, the guard sees you. Not just like, huh, who's there? But the guard sees you, and like, oh, bad cartwheel. He'll cause an alert, and if he does an alert, it's hard. It's a little harder to get through here, because then you have, like, a SWAT team that comes through that door. And they're kind of hard to get through, especially if they have shields. So here's our first box trick. We're going to be lining up the shot so that we can get onto the conveyor belt right here. Quick equip to our box. And this box will take us back to Strut C. We want to go back to Strut C so we can pick up this sensor. We don't actually need the sensor for anything practical, like we know where everything is, but for the game's, I think for the game's purposes, you have to pick up sensor B, or, you know, it's like a story flag, basically. The game will not progress. Didn't quite do my box tech there correctly. If you do your box stuff correctly there, the guard has, like, box phobia, and, bad cartwheels. And he will, just, like, run away without shooting you. There's also a way to do that quicker that doesn't involve tranking the guard, or at least not immediately. But I haven't quite got it down yet. And all it does is skip that little itty-bitty cutscene where you're, like, opening the door, so... Saves you, you know, maybe a second or so, but... if you miss it up, it can make you lose more than a second. So I tend not to do it. I just trank the guard just to be safe. So at this point, we've gotten all the first round of bombs defused. And we get this codec call here that tells us, oh, there's another bomb. But it's in Strut A. If you do clockwise, you're kind of just conveniently close to Strut A whenever you, You're kind of just conveniently close to Strut A, and you still just go there by foot. Since we're kind of across from here, we're going to have to do our box trick again. So we quick equip to our second box, box 3. We're going to do a repeat of the box trick. But we have our third box on, which is going to take us to Strut A. Fancy that. So that's kind of a... you can call it counterclockwise. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. I call it counterclockwise just because that's the way you start. It's not, you don't just go in a full counterclockwise circle, but the other route that I first learned was clockwise, and you just go clockwise, you defuse all the bombs just kind of normally, whatever. But that way, particularly if you have slow loading zones on whatever console you're playing, the box route can be very helpful in shortening your time. So, like I said, we're making our way to the last bomb here. Last bomb that Fat Man planted. And it's kind of underneath his submersible, and if you mess up here... and I didn't. But if you mess up there, you end up, falling in. Like, you'll jump into the water and you'll fall in, and not only does that waste you time because you fall in the water, you have to, you know, you have to go to the ladder, you have to get out of the water, all that fun stuff. But you also get a codec call from Colonel telling you how to swim. And that definitely adds some time as well. So you don't want to fall in the water there, for sure. Coming up on Fortune, and if I do this right... she won't say anything. I didn't do it right. She said, kill me now. There's a way to set that up to where she doesn't really talk at all. And she just immediately starts doing this. But yeah, I guess I should explain a little bit more. This boss fight, you can't hurt Fortune. She's got some weird technology thing that, like... that, makes her invulnerable. That's why her health bar is so low. It's almost the... yeah, I messed that up. It's almost to kind of lure you into, like, oh, just kill her. It's fine. But what we're doing instead is we're trying to move around this room in a specific way so that we get through this fight as quickly as possible. And I've already messed it up, so we're losing a little bit of time here, but... The name of this boss fight is just get through it as quickly as possible, try to get hit as few as times as you need to, unlike what I did right there. Coming up on the end, once she starts like grunting and shooting, and then the piece of the ceiling falls, or the rafter, or whatever it is, that's when you know the fight's ending. Then you get your codec call, and the fight's over. So now we have to make our way back to Strut E, because Fat Man has placed a big bad bomb there. And we have to go fight him there. So here's where the chaffs are that I was talking about earlier. That's why we skipped the other chaffs. Usually I can do that a little better, but I messed it up there. There is a way to grab those chaffs without getting exploded, but I'm not always consistent with it. So we've got our chaffs, which we don't need for Fat Man, but we will need a good bit later in the run. We're going to cartwheel across this bridge pretty sloppily. That guard's just going to be like, yeah, whatever. I should have done this earlier, but we can do this now. I usually like to do that menuing earlier than that, but I got distracted. But it's fine. You just menu to your M9 so you can shrink that guard. You don't have to worry about him shooting you or anything like that. There is a way to, I think, cartwheel through him if you get the movement right. I think you can actually cartwheel through him and he won't shoot you or knock you down or anything, but I'm not as consistent with it, so... yeah. I'm also going to menu to my SOCOM here, because that's usually a little easier for me, at least for the Fat Man fight. There's two ways, really, to do it. It's like with the M9 or with the SOCOM. At least on very easy. And I prefer the SOCOM. Because we're doing any percent, we don't have to worry about big boss rank or anything, so... we don't have to worry about defeating bosses non-lethally. So Fat Man will be right here to our right. We're going to shoot him a few times. It'll knock him down. We'll get 2 headshots. Did not get slow to fuse on that. That's great. Or, did not get fast to fuse, rather. So yeah, basically it's just a rinse and repeat twice with Fat Man there. Not quite done, though. We still have to do this last little bomb. And now that Fat Man is over. Few codec calls, we're going to get off the roof, and then we're going to be making our way to Shell 1 core. After we trigger these cutscenes. In Shell 1 core, I don't know for sure, but this is definitely one of the more RNG parts of the route, just because the position of where Ames is in the room. Basically, we're going to Shell 1 core, and we need to find Ames, who's like our contact, essentially. We need to get in touch with him. And the way we need to find him is by listening for his pacemaker. Yeah, so first we gotta go get a microphone, but even then, like, you can still find him by looks. Like, he's the only guy that looks like he does. There's a few other white guys that look like him. There are a few other white guys that look like him, but, he's the only one that's got, like, a little bit of, like, a mullet, I'd say, and that's how I distinguish him. So we're equipping our BDU here. We cartwheel and equip the BDU because that's something we'll need to also get into the core and do our thing. But we also need an AK, because as you've probably seen, the guards not only have this, you know, spiffy uniform, but they also all have AKs. So in order to look the part, we have to get an AK as well. Luckily, there's one on our way. If we were playing on harder difficulties, we would be getting the AK in a different position. But since we're on very easy, there's an AK just conveniently placed along our path. We can cartwheel past cameras. They don't really care. Guards will care if you cartwheel. As you'll see when I'm doing my cartwheel out of here, guards will care. And they will want to investigate you. But you just respond to that investigation with a cartwheel, and everything's all good. Got a fast elevator. I almost always get fast elevator there nowadays. But yeah, we're making our way down to the bottom here so that we can get the D-mic. Because even though we know who Ames is without using the D-mic, we have to progress the game by using the D-mic.
Hello?
So now we've got our microphone. I'm gonna skip through these two cutscenes. I mentioned earlier the Claymore. It's not really useful unless you use it for a certain strat. And it's right in here. Instead of just, like, proceeding through the room normally like I just did, you actually use a cartwheel to, like, cause an alert, and then you can kind of just, like, sneak around. Because everybody just thinks you're a guard. Basically, we lure a guard there, we choke him, and that gives us our retinal scan that we need to get in there.
You are cleared to enter.
And because we're playing on very easy, we don't have to re-equip our BDU when we get in here. We can just walk around and look for Ames just in our sneaking suit. Yeah, as I said, we're gonna be looking for a mullet. We've got Lady, or I forget what it's, Rachel or Rebecca glitch. I don't know what she's called, but we've got a glitch where Ames is going to be the only one that's not that person.
You're Ames, aren't you?
Like, they're all different, like, what appear to be women in skirts. Young lady glitch, I guess we can call it, because there's also a glitch where you can get all old ladies in Ames, and that makes it super easy to find Ames, because he's the only one that's not, you know, an old lady or a young lady. But at a certain point, you get kind of just good at finding them. So, but what we're going to do here is we're going to activate the elevator. Let that guard get suspicious. And then we kill him. And you saw me move a few steps back there, or a few steps to the right. I do that just to make sure the guards in the other room don't hear me. Because if they hear those shots, they will call in an alert. And if you aren't quite pristine with your movement, that alert will keep you from using the elevator. And you have to wait for the alert to go down for a few seconds, and it's just annoying. So we're making our way here. We're going to be going to the Shell 2 core now, or we're going to be going to, like, the Shell 2. I don't know what it's called. Oop, wrong way. But before we go there, we have to go grab a PSG-1. We need this PSG-1 for... really just for sensors. I guess we also need it for the vamp fight later, but it's particularly helpful for these sensors that we're going to have to destroy on this bridge coming up. I keep forgetting to unequip my BDU before we go into load zones. I think it actually increases loading zone time, but I'm not sure if that's just for one section or if it's for every section, but... I tend to equip and unequip it just to be safe. Almost as a superstition. Like, I'll... you know. Because if you don't have the BDU on, the load time is... lower, at least for one section of the game. It may not be for every section. But yes, now we can make our way to the, like, second structure thing. This thing is basically built up of, like, you know, a core surrounded by 6 struts times 2. So we're making our way over to the second part. I think it's called Shell 2. Can't quite remember. We are just making our way there. No guards, really, to stop us, or even cameras or ciphers. I could have cartwheeled up that staircase, but I was distracted. We did our codec a little too early there. Sometimes you can do that. So now we're going to be destroying these sensors, and then we're coming up on our Harrier fight, where we're going to be fighting the jet that Solidus and Vamp are in. And it's typically probably the most difficult, at least for me right now, probably the most difficult part of the very easy run for me. These sensors aren't too big of a deal. I mean, I'm going a little slow with it right now, but they're usually not that much trouble. This Harrier, on the other hand, can give you quite a bit of trouble. And there are various ways to do it. I'm going to be doing a relatively super safe way. Stinger, we're going to fire 2, 3. So I tried to get a few more there, but I couldn't quite get it. Where is he? Oh, okay. I was getting confused. As you can see, I was clearly confused. I'd love to be able to explain what I'm doing, but it's, like, gotta kind of concentrate. And I could do a little iframe cancel there, but I usually like to just keep shooting at them, because you're on very easy, so your health isn't really a big deal.
I'll let you go out in style.
Not a very good Harrier so far. Missing a lot of the cues I'm trying to get. Not my best Harrier by any measure. Well, that's Harrier. There's a few ways to do it. I usually do the 2+1 and try to get a little more and do other stuff, but yeah, not ideal there. Alright, so we're going to equip some chaff grenades here to make sure we have them later. And then we're going to cartwheel and hopefully make it, and we did. That is what the community calls a leap of faith, and it's quite the leap of faith. And I messed up my movement there, or we would have been able to skip that little itty-bitty cutscene. But yeah, this is where the chaffs come in handy. Not, like, exactly here, but coming up on another scene here. Chaffs will be helpful in helping us just kind of run past. But now we're just making our way around. It's a lot of just kind of movement. A bit of a more chill spot of the run, I guess. Yeah, this, and even, like, Vamp 1... A lot of us stuff coming up is kind of chill. It's just really all about movement and... I thought for a second there I threw the chaff grenade just off the ledge. And I was like, oh no. Also allows us to proceed past that scene where there's somebody peeing. Gonna throw our other chaff here. And that'll allow us to get past these ciphers with relative ease. Good thing I didn't fall there. I have a habit of falling there sometimes. Especially on that last part. A little bit of, like, small thing I did there was just holding left. Because there was a little cutscene where you're actually, like, yeah, like, using the D mic. And if you actually hold left, it'll put Raiden in a better, like, position to keep going. To move forward rather than have to, like, move around the box, basically. So we're gonna go grab the Nikita here because the president's right there and we need to talk to him. But he's being protected by electromagnetic, not electromagnetic, electric floor, I guess is what it is. I don't know for sure. Basically, we have to go down here, get the Nikita, so that we can go talk to him. And here's that cutscene I was talking about with Colonel Campbell, where he teaches you how to swim. The one that if you mess up earlier, you get. So we want to grab the Nikita. We want to turn around as quickly as possible. Which I'm really, really bad at. I don't know. I've got to learn that more consistently. I don't know if it's just the Xbox version or what, but every time I hit right stick there, I'm just a little slow. Ideally, you, like, press R3, you just hit your right stick, and you can, you just hit your right stick, and you can do that a lot easier. But for some reason, mine's not very consistent. So we're making our way back here to the President. We're going to make our way to a certain vent. We're going to shoot this Nikita missile through that vent. We're going to get up on there first.
What is it?
Alright, that's going to make it a little tougher. So it's easier to do it just like first try.
What are you doing?
Because now the President's going to do some weird movements. But luckily, he didn't do it too weird there. If you miss the first shot or you explode it somewhere, he ends up, like, moving around kind of erratically. And sometimes he even, like, it's almost like he's trying to, like, catch your missile with his face. Luckily, he just kind of dodged out of the way there. Flick back. Okay, that's what I'm doing wrong. It's flicking back, not pressing in. I thought it was always R3, but I guess I'm wrong. Well, you learn something new every day. So that's why I'm messing up that turn, is that I'm doing R3, which is clicking the right stick in, which usually, I don't know. I've had consistency with it on PlayStation versions, but I guess it's more of a flick back.
I took these photos.
You didn't take those photos, Snake. I did. Snake taking credit for those photography classes I took. So now we're going to be making our way to Vamp. And if you noticed earlier when I was at that elevator and I was equipping the Nikita, I also put Stinger on my quick equip. So now it's on my quick equip and I don't have to menu for it for this Vamp fight. Ideally, coming up here, you want to do Swim Glitch. You want to be able to know how to do Swim Glitch and do that because it saves you some time. But I don't know how to do Swim Glitch yet. Maybe by the time late February comes around, I will have learned it. But as of now, I do not know how to do Swim Glitch, which involves skipping a lot of this area. So I am just going to do it the regular way. We're just going to swim through. Probably the most mash-heavy part of the run on console. On PC, if you're playing this, you can activate turbo a lot easier. I mean, I guess you can do turbo on console too, but it's a lot easier to activate turbo on PC, I feel like, and it really helps for this section because you're just doing a lot of mashing, whether it be swimming or opening that door or getting through that cutscene. Just a lot of mashing here, and I think I have enough Stinger missiles. Because coming up on Vamp 1, we want to have 6 Stinger missiles. I hit my codec a little early there. So we're just going to do a quick check before we go into the room and make sure we have it. We do. We have 9. Good. That's all we need. Messed up my rhythm there.
Right. What's wrong?
We could wait for him to resurface and try to shoot him and stuff, but it's just so much easier to reset and... There we go. So, what you want to do there is you're basically firing your Stinger missile at the water. You don't want to shoot it at Vamp directly, typically. You definitely don't want to use homing missiles to shoot him. But you want to shoot at the water, and you want to do it at a rate... It's about... I think when I was timing it to a metronome, it was about somewhere between 125 and 130 beats per minute. So you want to do it at about that, like, rate. You know, somewhere between 125 and 130 beats per minute is ideal, I think. And if you do them, you know, the way you're supposed to, you You get it the first time, 6 stinger missiles, he's done. But if you mess up, best thing to do, I mean, if you're on other difficulties, it's usually not what you're doing. That's not how you're defeating him in the first place. But on very easy, it's just like if you mess up that stagger, it's so much quicker to just jump in the water there, reset, try again. Because trying to kill Vamp legit is not very fun. So now comes the part where it's just very chill. Just part of the run. We're just going to be doing a lot of moving around with Emma. A lot of codex, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of swimming, and just like leading Emma by the hand to different places. And this whole split, I've just named it Vamp 2, but like Vamp 2 is a very small part of it. There's like leading her around, there's swimming with her, there's the sniping that you do to help her get across the walkways. Vamp is actually a very small part of my Vamp 2 split, but it just makes sense. It just made sense to name it that way. One of these days I might get around to breaking the split down a little more, but it's just so much more work when you don't have an auto splitter to just have a bunch of like more splits. So we're making our way back. We're just swimming back the exact same way we came. We're gonna hear Emma's oxygen go out and her life bar is gonna start to deplete, but that's fine. We just want to make sure Emma has, I think it's at least 50% or more health, somewhere around that. We just want to make sure she has that much health, because otherwise if her health gets too low, she's gonna, whenever you let her go, she's gonna start to like take breaks and like sit down, and it's gonna be take so much longer for her to get up. But otherwise, you just go through just once. You don't have to resurface for any air. You just bring her right through. Lead her to the edge of the bugs because she hates bugs. And then we have to do a little bit of tough love here to get her into the elevator. We're also going to be leading her through here. This is maybe the only part of this part that I find that's not very chill, just because like your movement needs to be quite tight to get through here without having to shoot, the minimal amount of people. As you see, we move past that guard. We're going to be coming up on a second guard here at the bottom of these stairs, and we're going to have to shoot him. He's just going to see us. So dispose of that guard. This third guard is the one that you gotta have real tight movement on. Otherwise, he will kind of turn his head and see you. So you want to make sure you don't hit any of the corners, because Emma is really slow around corners. Like that. So, if you do mess up there, all you gotta do is kill the guard. Not a big deal, but it does waste a little bit of time. So my movement wasn't quite optimal there. And we had to kill that third guard. Alright, still making our way downtown. Walking fast. Faces past, and we're homebound. We're gonna kill this Cypher right up here after we get across this walkway. Unfortunately, we can't hold Emma's hand while we're holding an AK, so we have to unequip and re-equip it. Then we're gonna do a little spray work here. If you take too long there, the guard will see you, and then they'll call an alert, and then you've got more guards to kill, and it's a whole thing. More cutscenes and codex. What we actually have to do here is go back to our AK, because we switched to our coolant earlier. Our coolant's actually on our quick equip, so we have to do a little bit more menuing there. Get her about halfway through. Kill both guards there, because there's actually a guard there a little bit off screen. But because we're on very easy and we have auto aim, it's very helpful. I'm gonna open this door, bring Emma through it, and then we're coming up on our sniping part. I guess our second sniping part. I guess we have sensors too. But really the last time we'll be sniping and using our PSG-1. So we're going to grab this PSG-1 ammo, we're going to stand where the thermal goggles are, we're going to pick them up, we're not going to use them, but we're going to stand where they are, because it helps kind of see everything, and also it helps with, I think with weapon ammo spawns. I think it also helps with that. Like the ammo that you get for the PSG-1. Because the game will keep respawning ammo. Like... if you run out of ammo here, the game will just keep respawning it. We get a codec call from Snake, who's like, hey, if you need help, let me know. But we got it. We don't need Snake's help. So our next guards are going to be up here at this first tower. I was trying to make a very concerted effort to keep Emma out of my scope. The thing about this here is if you don't even have to look directly at her. If you just kind of put her in your like scope peripheral, she will fall down. And that will just add time. Having some trouble with this other cipher. So now we have got... yes, now we have a little 90-second break. We have a little more PSG ammo. So we have about 90 seconds, so we can just sit here and chill. Great time for donations. But yeah, we're basically waiting until Emma gets to about halfway in between this first pillar and the second pillar. Tower, whatever you want to call it. Whenever she gets about halfway, it might be a little less than halfway now that she fell down, but when she gets about halfway in between here, that's when our next like wave happens. We're gonna get like 2 guards and a cipher. And then we wait another 90 seconds until she gets like over here. And then another cipher is gonna come out of there, and that's our third wave. But it's only like 1 cipher, so hardly a wave. But then that's it. And then we have Vamp, and then that's this whole sniping section. And like I was saying earlier, like I'll just kind of demonstrate it because I've already done it. Like, well, of course it's not happening now. Why would it happen now when I'm trying to make it happen? But essentially, if you just look at Emma with your sniper scope, you don't even have to look directly at her. If she's just kind of in the peripheral of it, like, she will fall down and waste time. All these guards are like 3 body shots or 1 headshot. Also, I think 1 groin shot is... oh, couldn't quite get it, but yeah, y'all get the picture. I think 1 groin shot also might be a kill, but... hey, V, thanks for the GL. We're actually doing a submission video right now. It's not like a... as you can see, the run's kind of dead, and I'm not really trying too hard, but... we're doing a submission video right now. There's a speedrun marathon called Flynn Stock that's happening in late February. And I'm doing a submission video for it now. It doesn't tell me what just happened, but... like, yeah, Streamlabs isn't telling me what just happened, but I got a notification for something. Head, nut, and heart. Heart, too. Okay, interesting. I haven't gotten a heart shot yet. I've definitely gotten nut shots, though, especially for guard rush. Like, that groin shot. Like, especially on guard, guard 3, or guard 3 or 4, depending on what order you go in, but, like, the last 2 guards before the final 3, the one on the right, nut shot is so easy. But yeah, so we're going to be waiting for 1 more cipher to come out of, like, here. I think it comes out of here, like this area. And that's our last little enemy here. And then we've got Vamp. Vamp's gonna hold up Emma, and we're gonna just try and like spam and kill him as quickly as we can. Because I think it's only like 6 shots that we need for that. And as far as I know, like, the speed at which you kill the enemies for here does not matter. I mean, obviously you want to make sure they don't see Emma, because if they see her and there's an alert, she'll stop and, you know, just sit in this place that she's in. You also want to make sure she doesn't fall, because that's going to waste, you know, make the time go longer. But as long as Emma keeps moving and she doesn't stop moving, this is a pretty, like, fixed time. At least on very easy as far as, like, how long it takes. It's pretty fixed. That was bad. Not my best Vamp. Not a good cutscene skip there either, but that's fine. We got to see Raiden's cool shades. I love that air when it just comes up and, like, poofs his hair. I love it. So now we're going to be making our way back to Shell 1 Core. We're not really going to be doing anything there. We're just going to be going into an elevator and progressing the game. What we do want to do here... And I messed it up. Yeah, what you do want to do there is, like, cartwheel, quick equip your PSG-1, and then swap to your AK. Because you're going to need your AK for here. Because if you don't destroy those ciphers, and if you try to run across that bridge without destroying those 2 ciphers, you're most likely gonna get shot, and you will fall. Because the idea is, if you get shot while you're, like, trying to go across those planks, you'll pretty much immediately fall. Ah, my cutscene skips are not good today. There's a lot of cutscenes we missed there, but basically it looked like Snake and Otacon betrayed us, and now we're tied up. So this is the first of 2 torture scenes in this game. Because we're on very easy, we actually don't have to mash for this. We will have to mash a little bit for the second torture scene, but mashing, honestly, is being generous. I wouldn't even call it mashing. It's more just like pressing. But as you can see, we actually won't have to mash for this. Like, our oxygen will fully deplete, but I don't think we actually lose any health. See, oxygen fully goes down, but you don't actually lose any health. So it's like, you're only hurting your thumbs there to mash, at least on very easy. I think when it comes to higher difficulties, you know, especially when you get up to European Extreme, yeah, you're probably gonna have to mash for there. I don't know for sure, but, yeah.
Olga, you can't keep this up. They're bound to find you.
Listen, I'll free you
Brace
in a
yourself.
little while. Brace yourself.
Alright, so unfortunately, we're naked now. Well, unfortunately or fortunately. Depends on how you feel about being naked. Well, depends on how you feel about being naked and also running around a military base slash... yeah, mobile military base, I guess. But, good thing is we still got our shades. So we're not totally naked. I don't know why I did that cartwheel. So the movement through this room can be a little tricky. This is where Colonel and Jack, the AI controlling them, starts to go a little haywire. As long as you cartwheel there, he won't see you. Well, he'll see you, but he'll not know where you are. You got one more Kodak from Colonel to answer here on the stairs. Colonel / Rose. We're going to run up here. We're going to try and cartwheel this guard. Good, we did. We can cartwheel across there. Okay, we did a few too many punches than I meant to, but that's still good, because if you try to just run up to that guard there, he will sweep your leg. even if you try to, like, cartwheel him, like, you try to, like, cartwheel through him and go to where you're supposed to go, a lot of time when I do that, I still get my... He basically does this, like, leg sweeping thing, you know? He sweeps the leg, Johnny. And so... You end up wasting quite a few seconds, because you get knocked down, you have to get back up, and it's a whole thing. So ideally, what you want to do there is you run up to him. Well, ideally, I guess you can maybe pull the cartwheel off and be fine, but it's tough. So, otherwise, you want to just kind of run up to him, punch him once or twice, and then just run past him. Because once you punch him once or twice, he'll kind of pull back and try to get a better position. And I kind of skipped over that too, but basically we're just answering codec calls here. You get 5 from the Colonel. Once you get into this little, like, colon room, you get 5 from the Colonel, and you get 1 from Rose. Then Snake shows up, you talk to him for a little bit, and he gives you a cool sword from Olga. I don't know why I swapped to non-lethal there. Basically, we just wanted to hit our sword as fast as possible, because once you hit the sword, once you swipe it once, a 45-second timer starts, and then once that timer's done, you're good to go. I think for a while, I'm new to the community, but I think for a while the speedrunning community for Metal Gear kind of thought here, like, the more you swiped, the quicker the timer went, but that's not what happens. You just do the first swipe, and then the timer starts. What can interfere with it is if you actually go south, if you actually start to go south and run around the room, as I learned about a week ago, if you have to be north of where you spawn, basically. Like, wherever you spawn into that room whenever you get the sword, you have to go north of that. Otherwise, if you go south, the timer, I don't know if it restarts or if it just stops, but you end up losing time. I messed up my menuing here. And I'm messing up my movement quite a bit. See, yes, one of my viewers is also making the point that messing with Snake will also increase the timer, but yeah, someone else in my chat also pointed out if you mess with Snake, that also lengthens the timer, and that's also something I was doing the other day, so makes sense why my timer went so slow. But yeah, basically what we're doing here is we're just, obviously, as you can see, using our Stinger Missile. We're lining up in a pretty convenient spot to where we can hit these guards as they come out. Because ideally, you want to take care of these guards, and Snake will take care of the guards on the floor. Snake will shoot all the guards and take them out eventually, but it's better to kind of set up shop here and wait for Snake to kind of get everybody else.
It came as a complete surprise when Ocelot
On harder difficulties for that fight, you would actually, like, grab a Tengu and, like, bring the soldier back to like the room you spawned in and, like, confuse the game into skipping the fight. But I think for very easy, I don't think the glitch works, and even if it did, I think it's actually quicker just to do all the Stinger stuff. But we're coming up on our raise fight here. I mean, this is a little spot where Solidus is just going to talk about how, you know, this whole mission's a fraud. But, yeah, we want to make sure we've got our Stinger on quick equip. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, like, because I'm going to menu, well, I'll try to get the quick equip Stinger that I do, but basically, coming up on this race fight, if we do it optimally, we will only fire 3 shots. We'll fire 3 shots, we'll kill 3 rays, we'll be done, because that's all you have to do and very easy. However, sometimes I miss the first shot, and if you're a little late on it, you don't do as much damage as you're supposed to, and so you end up having, I think, do like 4 or 5 shots instead of 3. But we still just need to kill 3 rays as quickly as possible. We can do it in 3 shots.
You ran from it, and now you've been led back to war by something less than real.
No, actually, it's still 4 shots. What am I saying? Yeah, even if we do it optimally, it's 4 shots, but... And I hit save again when I didn't mean to.
Are you awake yet, Jack?
So this is the torture scene we're actually going to mash through. And by mash, I mean we're just going to be kind of clicking at a slow rate. It also helps if you have a controller where like you can just bind Y to another button and you can just press it a bunch. But I mean,
the answers out of you instead, my son.
Basically we can, as long as we just survive this torture, that's all we need to do. Because we're gonna get a full health bar again before the last boss fight. So yep, that's all we need to do.
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
It's not him I want the answers from.
Alright, so we're coming up on Solidus, which is our last fight. We've got a few cutscenes in the Codex to skip. It'll be our last boss fight, our last fight period. Ideally, you can do this, like, you get to hit him like 3 times, basically, in a row. And do damage. And we want to do that 4 separate times. So 12, I think it's 12 hits. Like 4 3-hit combos for 12 hits should do it. Not counting the punches we have to do. But sword swipes, like sword slashes that actually hurt, it should just be 3 times 4. I'm gonna cartwheel away from him to make sure he fires missiles at us. And we have to do so, because if he fires missiles at us, it allows us to cartwheel through them and just do that again. So I don't think I was accurate with the number of hits I described earlier, but
This is where it gets interesting.
yeah. Still a pretty good Solidus so far. I usually mess up because I get my guard broken here. We'll see how I do here. So he gave us the people's elbow there. He gave us an elbow attack, which is what we want. And he gave it to us there, but we weren't ready for it. So that was actually, would have been a pretty good Solidus fight if I'd have played it a little better, but it still went okay.
Do you remember this
So yeah,
place?
that's the run. The rest of it is waiting for about 9.5 minutes until you,
I remember now.
you know, until you get your in-game time.
Today
That's
is
how
the
we
day I met
engage
you.
it. But yeah,
That's it.
that pretty much marks the end of my submission video for MGS2 HD Edition console. Very easy, any %. Yes, with a solid state drive. So that's my submission video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all kind of picked me for the run. I'm really excited about it. Even if you don't pick me, really excited about the benefit. Like I said, the autism cause is really close to my heart. But
Are you talking
yeah.
about the
Yeah.
Take care.
The genes aren't the only
Thanks for your
thing
time and
There are
you know
too
taking the
many
time to watch my
things that
video and
aren't
stuff.
written into our
Thanks.
DNA. It's up to us to teach that to our children.
All right.
What kind of things?
About the environment,
Whew.
our ideas, our culture.
I can definitely see why people want commentators when they're doing a speed run, like for a marathon.
We'll tell them everything together.
Is that a
I was only like an hour. I wasn't even an hour and a half of
This
talking,
is
and I'm
for
just
your
like
ears
exhausted.
only.
Thanks for the GG, Speedy. Yeah, we're not gonna watch these credits. That would be dumb, right? Yeah, that would be stupid. Because there's no way we're PBing. Let's end this. update that though.
I stare at the stars and the sky up above.
Okay.
And think, what am I?
So, I have a couple choices here that I was thinking about. We can either, yeah. A couple choices. I was thinking I could either play that Star Trek game that I started the other day, which is like a point and click adventure game, or I could start MGS1 and start because I've already got notes made for it and everything, but I could start learning that, and we could watch some cutscenes while I'm learning. But yeah, that's what I'm considering. Let me see if I can make a poll from here. Nope, that would be too easy. Alright, let me pull up my stream management. Excuse me. I'm also thinking, I'm not going to do it tonight, but I'm also thinking about making a submission video for Kingdom Hearts. It's been a while since I've done a Kingdom Hearts speedrun, but I kind of want to do a submission for that as well. Let's see, Stream Manager. Oh, interesting. What if I learned Swim Glitch? Oh, I don't know. I could. I learned a ladder glitch off stream, and it felt, I don't know. Because I feel like if I have people watching, not that it makes me nervous, but just like, I feel like, you know, obviously for MGSR people, that's great, but and even for them, I don't know. But like, just watching me try and do this like glitch for a while, I don't know. I could try it. But maybe. Because I'd have to pull up a video, and I don't like pulling up videos and like watching. Like, when people tune into my stream and they just see me like looking over this other monitor, watching some video, just doing this for a while. I don't know. We'll see. I am going to take a break. Quick little BRB so I can use the restroom and stuff. And I'll think about it. Yeah, maybe I'll try learning Swim Glitch. Maybe I'll try and do some tanker IL runs, get my world record trimmed down a little bit. Maybe I'll do MGS1 PC. Maybe I'll do that Star Trek game. Who knows? Right, and that's the thing. Like, it's one thing where it's like ladder glitch. I feel like over 2 or 3 different sessions, but it only took like 45 minutes tops. Like, that's how long it took me to learn ladder glitch. And that's with skipping, like having to, you know, continue and stuff, or, you know. But, you know, I guess, yeah, I wouldn't have to continue a Swim Glitch. I wouldn't have to worry about continuing or soft resetting. It's just a matter of getting it done, yeah. Huh. I'm thinking about it now. I'm just like, that might be an easy, that might actually make it take less time, just for the fact that I don't have to spend 15 seconds when I mess up every time. But regardless, we are taking a quick break. I'll leave the music on for y'all to enjoy. Nice Metal Gear Solid jazz. But I'll be back in a few minutes.
I know how good it has been. Facing forever, here I stand, come what may. Bring the old, bring the new, yesterday. It's there that I'll find inner peace, not war. and dreams that I let slip away. I'll find the joyfulness I'm looking for way back in yesterday.